56. Party.
He was getting ready for the party. The party was at night. It was going to be a big party. All his friends were going. He never went to parties. This was his first time going to one. He was nervous. He was excited. He was a shy guy. He did not talk a lot. He had only 5 friends. His friends were shy too. They did not want to be shy anymore. He got ready for the party. He dressed himself nicely. He combed his hair. He brushed his teeth twice. He trimmed his mustache. He looked in the mirror. He looked good. He spoke to himself. "Hey, good-looking," he said in the mirror. He was ready. The party was in 30 minutes. He left early. He drove to the party. He had a blast. He made new friends. He met a girl. He kissed her. It was a fun party.
57. Riding the bus.
It was early morning. The sun was just over the horizon. She got on the bus. The bus was smelly. It smelled foul. Bus fare was $1.50. She paid her fare. "Good morning," said the bus driver. "Good morning," she said back. The bus driver was friendly. This was odd. She mostly met mean bus drivers. She wondered why. The bus was full. She looked around for seats. There were no seats in the front. She looked to the back. There was 1 seat available. She made her way to the back. There were a lot of people. "Excuse me," she said. She touched elbows with people. The people let her through. She reached the back of the bus. Her seat had been taken. She held onto the pole and stood. It was a brand new day. She was happy. It was her first day of university. The bus rode on.
58. Diving off a cliff.
He took a deep breath. He looked down. The water looked cold. He was nervous. "Come on, jump," said his friends. He was on a ledge of a cliff. It was a big drop. All his friends had jumped. They were swimming in the water. His friends waited for him. 15 minutes had gone by. He had not jumped. "What are you, chicken?" teased one of his friends. He was scared indeed. He imagined bad things. He imagined breaking his bones. He imagined drowning. He imagined being eaten by a fish. "I don't think this is a good idea," he said to his friends. His friends then told him not to do it. They were worried. He stepped off the ledge. He climbed down. He safely got in the water. He was safe. He was relieved.
59. A familiar face.
They were on a train. He sat across from her. He looked at her. She looked familiar. She was writing on her iPad. She looked concentrated. The train sped along its tracks. It made large sounds. There were many passengers on board. He looked to his right. He saw a man with long hair. He saw a woman holding a dog. He saw a kid with food on his face. He looked to his left. He saw an old man with a cane. He saw a young lady crossing her legs. He saw a fat man eating peanuts. No one looked familiar except her. She sat in front of him. He thought for a minute. He could not remember. The train had come to a stop. It had reached its destination. Passengers were exiting the train. He lost sight of her. He looked around to see where she went. She was nowhere in sight.
60. Home again.
It had been a long train ride. Her bottom was sore. She stretched her legs and neck. She grabbed her luggage. She got off the train. She headed towards the street. She called a cab. She entered the vehicle. "Welcome to San Francisco," said the cab driver. She smiled and said, "Thank you." She was finally home. It had been a while since she left home. The cab arrived at her house. She paid him the fare. "Thank you very much," he said. He drove away. She entered her house. Her house looked pleasant. Nothing had changed. She walked into the living room. Her family awaited her in the living room. They were excited to see her. "Welcome home, Becky," her family yelled. She hugged and greeted everybody. It was nice to be back home.